Everybody talks about Virginia as the regular season ACC champions, but Carolina had the same record at 16-2. Everybody talks about Duke as the ACC tournament champions, but Carolina was right there in a 1-point loss. I think the Tar Heels are exactly where they want to be, a number 1 seed that nobody is talking about. I think they're going to the Final Four, and I think they're going to the national championship game and a rematch with the Gonzaga Bulldogs from 2 years ago. Can they beat them again? I don't think so. But the final 2, Carolina will take it. It wasn't the strongest year in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Iona won it with 6 league losses. But no matter, all Coach Tim Cluess does is win in March, especially in the MAC tournament. Did it again, taking the automatic bid in Albany and also avoiding the first 4. That's the good news. The bad news is they get North Carolina in a first-round game. So for Iona, it'll be one and done, but another banner in New Rochelle. The hottest team in America coming into the NCAA tournament? It may be the Aggies of Utah State, who've won 17 of 18 heading into their first-round game against Washington. I think the Aggies win this game and give North Carolina all it can handle in the second round. They're good, and they're not an easy out. The Huskies have been leaking oil a bit down the stretch, in part because of their offensive challenges and in part because, well, the Pac-12 really wasn't very good this year. And they draw a red-hot Utah State team in the first round. Yeah, and let's send 2 West Coast teams to Columbus for that game. Either way, Washington did a great job this year under Mike Hopkins, winning the Pac-12 outright, but it's going to be one and done for the Huskies, I'm afraid. Auburn and Bruce Pearl. This is a feast or famine bunch, and they have been feasting through their SEC tournament champion. What a run for the Tigers. And some of those early season losses now in the rearview mirror. The SEC tourney champions have a good draw. New Mexico State is dangerous, but not really good enough to beat Auburn. And I think the Tigers take Kansas as well in the round of 32. It's a Sweet 16 matchup against North Carolina, where Auburn meets its match, but they did a great job in winning the SEC. This will be a popular upset special in a 5-12 game, but I don't see it. New Mexico State, yeah, they've been blasting people all year long. I just don't have a lot of faith in the competition in the Western Athletic Conference. And I don't see how they're going to contain Auburn on the perimeter in this first-round game. What the Aggies need most of all is to get in a better conference, because beating up on the current WAC is not helping them in the NCAAs. All Jayhawk fans want are 2 NCAA victories and a ticket to the Midwest Regionals in Kansas City. Not going to happen. KU gets by Northeastern, but undermanned, I don't see them keeping up with Auburn in a racehorse game in the second round. Kansas' Big 12 title streak ended for a reason. By their standards, they were just average in 2018-19, but they'll be back. You just had a hunch that Coach Bill Cohen and the Huskies were going to find a way to knock off Hofstra, the high-powered pride, in the CAA tournament, and that's exactly what happened. But this is a tough draw going to Salt Lake City to face Kansas in the first round of the NCAAs. Not enough firepower on the Northeastern roster, I fear, for an upset, but it wouldn't totally surprise me. This is a good team, well coached, and they'll have a chance. Let's not forget that Iowa State was just 9-9 in the Big 12 regular season before their usual red-hot performance in the Big 12 tournament. I'm tempted to put them out in the first round, but do think they'll escape Ohio State in the first round of the NCAAs, but not Houston in the round of 32. Iowa State needs to find a way one of these years to extend that momentum into the big dance, but it won't be this one. The Buckeyes are back in the tournament, and even more importantly, they get center Caleb Wesson back. That got him into the dance and could lead him to an early victory over Iowa State. This game's a complete coin flip for me. I'm going to go with Iowa State's momentum, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Buckeyes play through and then lose to Houston in the second round. Chris Holtmann is doing a great job in Columbus, and this won't be his last dance. I'm glad the selection committee did not bang the Cougars for losing the AAC final to Cincinnati. This is a really good team, top 25 in both offensive and defensive efficiency, and they're going to play to their seed, winning 2 games, reaching the Sweet 16, and facing Kentucky in a 2-3 matchup in the Midwest Regionals. But in that battle of cats, I'll like the Wildcats. The Cougars, maybe not quite able to keep up inside. This is Georgia State's second straight NCAA tournament and third in 5 years under Coach Ron Hunter. But is he going to fall off his chair with another great upset? I don't think so. Very tough matchup against the Houston Cougars, and one in which Georgia State will come up short. The Sun Belt champs, again, but not an NCAA tournament winner. Another solid evaluation by the selection committee here, giving Wofford a deserving 7th seed in the NCAAs. More importantly, a winnable first-round game against Seton Hall. I don't know who's better, to be honest. The teams play very different styles. But I like Wofford's experience and three-point shooting to carry the day in this first-round matchup. A second-round game against Kentucky? Not so much. I think the Wildcats then gobble up the Terriers after the best season in their history. One thing's for sure about the Pirates. Win or lose, the game is going down to the wire. And I expect this one as well against Wofford in a really intriguing first-round pairing. The Pirates could have won the Big East title, came up just a little short to Villanova. They could advance in the NCAAs, but I think they're going to come up just a little bit short against the Terriers of Wofford. But Kevin Willard, after what he lost last year, a great job getting Seton Hall back to the big dance. Let's not forget that just a few days ago, the Kentucky Wildcats were a projected #1 seed, and they certainly have the talent to be exactly that. I know they're not happy about being paired with North Carolina in a 1-2 situation. It's been their kryptonite, if you will, in recent years. But hey, when you're a 2, you got to play somebody as a 1. And even when you're a 1, you're in the same potential Elite 8 matchup. I see Kentucky in the Elite 8 again. I see them playing North Carolina in that round again. And I see North Carolina winning. Kentucky beat them on a neutral floor in the regular season. This time, the Tar Heels get their revenge. The Wildcats make the dance for the first time in school history. And to make them feel at home, the committee gave them another set of Wildcats from Kentucky. Ooh, that doesn't sound like it's going to end well for Abilene Christian, and it won't. But they've done everything they can in winning the Southland.